T-minus 20. Final status check. Go Atlas, go Centaur, go SES reported from the Launch Control Center. T-minus 10 seconds. We'll stand by for RD-180 ignition at T-minus 2.7 seconds. There's engine start and liftoff. Liftoff of ULA's Atlas V rocket heading to orbit with 2 commercial communications satellites. Atlas V has cleared the Lightning Towers out at Pad 41, heading east from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. T-plus 20 seconds. We're going to switch to ULA's stream, showing a better view of the Atlas V rocket heading downrange, also showing some onboard camera views. Beautiful shot from an onboard camera on the Atlas V, looking down at one of the 3 strap-on solid rocket boosters, passing 90 seconds into the flight now. No problems reported so far. We're now approaching burnout of that solid rocket booster. All 3 SRBs have burned out, according to ULA. Should see jettison of those 3 solid rocket boosters in just a few moments. And there is jettison of the solid rocket boosters. See that booster in the field of view there. Altitude now is about 50 miles above Earth. Great view looking back toward the launch site from this rear-facing camera on the Atlas V, T-plus 3 minutes. And there is payload fairing jettison, visual confirmation, one of the halves of the payload fairing there. That was followed by jettison of what's known as the Centaur forward load reactor, just below the payload fairing, to reveal the Centaur upper stage, which is also encapsulated during the launch by the fairing. About 30 seconds remaining now in the boost phase of the mission. The RD-180 engine will throttle down. This throttle down is maintaining a constant 4G acceleration limit on the Atlas V. About 12 seconds remaining before booster engine cutoff. Here's a view of the RL-10 engine on the upper stage. We've heard confirmation of booster engine cutoff, and there's stage separation. The spent Atlas first stage now jettisoning. It will fall down into the Atlantic Ocean. It will not be recovered. And there is ignition of the RL-10 engine. The Centaur upper stage is now firing to continue the climb into orbit with the SES-20 and SES-21 satellites. Now approaching T-plus 5 minutes. No issues reported so far in the early portions of today's launch. This is the first of 3 RL-10 engine burns on tonight's mission. This burn is intended to place the rocket and the 2 payloads into a preliminary low-altitude parking orbit just a few hundred miles above the Earth. The 2 subsequent burns later tonight will raise the orbit, culminating in deployment of the 2 SES commercial TV broadcasting satellites very late tonight, about 6 hours after liftoff. We're now back to animation provided by ULA. This showing the Centaur upper stage firing its RL-10 engine, the 2 SES communication satellites stacked one on top of the other. On the right side in this frame of view, the rocket is passing over the Bahamas, actually just off the coast of the Bahamas, heading east from Cape Canaveral over the Atlantic Ocean. About 4 minutes remaining in this particular burn of the RL-10 engine. Again, this Centaur RL-10 burn is intended to place the rocket into a preliminary parking orbit. Altitude is currently 150 miles. Downrange distance is about 1,200 miles. In the ULA animation, you can see some of the flight data being displayed, showing the orbital parameters. It'll be interesting to note if you're into orbital dynamics, the figures change over the course of the next couple of minutes. So the perigee altitude, that's the low point of the orbit that the rocket is currently in, is currently negative because the orbit would actually intersect the surface of the Earth at the current velocity. That number is increasing. It'll pass zero, and that perigee altitude should end up more than a couple hundred kilometers above the Earth. We'll see what the final figure is for the parking orbit, but it should be above zero when that engine cuts off to ensure that the Centaur upper stage and the two satellites are safely in a parking orbit to begin tonight's mission. Now 9 minutes into the flight. About 3 minutes, a little less than 3 minutes remaining until engine cutoff. T plus 10 minutes, 40 seconds. We should see engine cutoff on the Centaur upper stage at T plus 11 minutes, 52 seconds. So a little more than a minute remaining in this burn. You can see the perigee altitude is just passing minus 650 kilometers, heading towards zero. And that should become a positive figure when the engine shuts down. T plus 11 minutes. "30 seconds remaining in this burn. And we've confirmed main engine cutoff. That's the report from United Launch Alliance, and you can see the orbit numbers there, 163 by 611 kilometers. This is very close to the pre-flight prediction. Now passing 12 minutes into the flight. This coast phase now between engine cutoff and the restart of the Centaur upper stage should last about 12 minutes or so. The restart of the Centaur upper stage is set for about T plus 23 minutes and 51 seconds. We expect ULA's live broadcast may end before that burn. If they do, we will not be able to continue to bring you this live animation, which is helpful for our coverage. So we hope they'll stay up for this second burn.